Go and open your book to page 29, and we're just going to go to set 2 and use that as an example for today's lesson. Today's lesson is about multiplication of the signed numbers, so you need to know how to multiply with like someone have negatives. Okay. So the way to remember is that when you have two negatives, right? See, you have negative and negative, right? So two negatives make into a positive. That's the way to remember. So again, two negatives make into a positive. So a positive can also break into two negatives. Okay. So when you multiply, like number 5 on set 2, you have negative 9 times negative 6. So again, the two negatives, again, it's very easy to remember. See, you got two negatives, you make into a positive. That's a way to remember. Very easy to remember. So first, you know it's going to be positive, and answer would be 6 times 9, 54, and that's your answer. So when you have two of the same sign, if you have positive and positive, it will become positive. Negative and negative give you positive. But if you have one is positive, one is negative, if they're different, the answer will be negative. So like number 7, you have negative 15 times positive 10. So you only have one negative. So if you have one negative, you're not going to be able to make it positive. So the answer would be negative, and when you multiply, you get 150. Okay, and that's it. So again, two negatives make into a positive. And if you don't remember that, you know, it's very simple. Just remember the two sticks. Okay, so just remember that. You just think about the example of sticks. Again, think about the two sticks, right? Two negatives make into a positive. Okay? Okay. And another thing you need to know what to do is know how to multiply mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are not very good numbers. So if you have number 26, you have negative 8 and 1/3 times negative 2 and 1/5. So you cannot just multiply like that. So what you need to do is you need to convert that into improper fraction. So this will give you 25, negative 25 over 3. And this will give you negative 11 over 5. Okay? So you need to know how to convert that. So if you don't, then you need to see me. I can show you how to do that. You should learn this like in elementary, right? How to convert. So next is when you multiply. Now when you multiply, don't multiply into big huge number. Okay, learn how to reduce. Notice that the 5 and 25 can cancel out. So you can divide by 5, you get 1. Divide by 5, you get 5, right? So you need to know how to do that. So your final answer would be 55 over 3. And just leave it like that, okay? Don't waste your time convert back to mixed numbers, because mixed number is kind of not good, okay? It's not good. So stay away from it if you can. Okay, so that's number 26. Okay, let's go to number 34. 34. Yeah, 6.07. Again, I'd like to put a parenthesis around that so it'd be less confusing. Times 0. Now anything times 0, the answer is 0. Okay, and that's it. Okay, now let's go to number 39. So make sure you know this. Okay, it says find the multiplicative inverse of negative 6 over 11. Now multiplicative inverse means you reciprocal, means you flip it over. So the multiplicative inverse of this is you flip it over, so it'd be negative 11 over 6. So this is your multiplicative inverse, means you flip it over. Okay? And let's do number 40. So multiplicative inverse of negative 1. So when you flip it over, you still get negative 1. Okay? So again, multiplicative inverse is you just flip it over, which is kind of the opposite of the identity. Okay? So I'm going to go to number 42. Number 42, the multiplicative identity, the answer is 1. Because when you multiply by 1, the answer stays the same. So this is your multiplicative identity. Okay, because when you multiply by 1, the number stays the same, identical. So that's a multiplicative identity. And notice they are related, right? What happens when you multiply the two inverse numbers? Again, they are inverse of each other. When you multiply two inverse numbers, you get the identity, right? When you multiply by identity, you get the same, right? Again, when you multiply the inverse, you get the identity. Okay, so let's go and do some practice. So again, this multiplication, so it's very easy, very straightforward.